back to Let's Talk. I'm John and this is Matt, and today we're finishing up our Star Wars rankings video with Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. But before we dive into that, if you are a fan of movie reviews, 4K Blu-ray reviews, TV reviews, video game reviews, some tech reviews, we do them all here on this channel. Nothing helps out more than by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So, Matt, I know you're probably a bigger fan than me of this. How did you think the Skywalker Saga ended?
Well, I want to start off right off the bat by saying Chewie finally got his medal, and well deserved. That was some fan service, which this movie arguably is mostly fan service, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I went on record to kind of not be a huge fan of the Disney trilogy, but upon rewatching, I actually really liked The Last Jedi more than I thought I did. And I really enjoyed this one also. So really, The Force Awakens is the one I like the least, which is strange, I guess, for some people. I don't hate it. I don't think any of them are terrible, absolute trash movies, but they're, I just hold the original Star Wars so much higher. But back to Rise of Skywalker, I think the Emperor coming back was weird. That I don't know how, because he got thrown down the shaft in the Death Star, right?
The second Death Star.
And that Death Star blew up, right?
Yeah, no, he's dead.
Yeah.
He should have been dead. But Dennis brings up a good point, and when we get to him, he actually gives his theory as to why they're able to bring him back. Which does.
What was his theory?
Well, you know what? Why don't we snap to Dennis's thoughts right now? You're not Matt.
I'm Dennis.
I thought that Snoke was going to be through this whole trilogy, so it's like, well, we need a villain. I got a guy. Get me the guy who played the Emperor. He did a great job. Like, let's bring him back. And no one said, but you actually explain this and explain it to them about what your theory is on bringing the Emperor back. Yeah. It actually makes sense, and I didn't think about this.
Yeah, so which was odd, because again, you're more a Star Wars guy than me, but to me, you have the Jedis who can become Force ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So if all of Jedi Masters' counterparts are in the dark side, but their powers are the same level, why can't a dark side guy become a Force ghost? So in my opinion, it's just that the Emperor, Palpatine, he was the dark side guy. He was the most powerful one to come along in the ranks. So when he passed away, he just became a Force ghost and kept training people. So he trained Snoke in the hopes that one day he would be able to use Snoke's power in the galaxy and everything to come back to life. But Snoke failed. So then he was like, all right, Kylo, you're next. I'm, just like I did Vader before, just like I did Snoke before, I'm going to try to get you to this all-powerful level to get himself back into the all-powerful state he wants to be in.
Yeah, and I think, they showed, the clones of Snoke, so he is, controlling all this on this, Sith planet and everything like that. And also, we know about the Emperor is that he knows how to come back to life. Because, he said he killed Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis knew how to bring people back from the dead. But, ironic, couldn't save himself. But yeah, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. Obviously they put this in a Star Wars movie, but it definitely bothered me that they shoehorned that. It just felt shoehorned in.
I guess it kind of makes sense. It's not a terrible theory. Was that all true, what he was telling Anakin when they were watching that bubble show? Was it episode 2 or
that's
3?
3.
No, that's not 3.
Yes, it is. That's the best scene in the whole...
That's episode 3?
Yeah, but that's pretty much how he convinces him. The story of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Yeah, no, he did that.
Is it 3? Yeah, maybe
yes,
it is 3.
And
yeah.
he's the one who kills Darth Plagueis, the Emperor.
Right.
Or Palpatine, however you say it at that time. He was the one.
Right. So, I mean, it's... whatever, but
I mean, we're trying again, like what Dennis said, and actually what Billy D said in our comment section. I don't know if he's the real Billy D. Williams. Is all these movies have plot holes if you start poking around?
Right, yeah, but on the bigger picture is it's still Star Wars and it's still sci-fi, it's still fantasy, and that's the beauty about that stuff is sometimes there doesn't have to be an answer to those questions.
You could poke holes in all of them.
Yeah, every single one, except maybe the very first one they ever released. But as soon as they started making all the sequels and then the prequels, holes galore. I mean, when I was watching, I texted you every single day. How does this make sense? How did this person age and that person didn't? Why does this person not remember them? And there's too much. But if you take it individually, don't take into account any of the other films, I think this one is really, really good, and I think the story made a lot of sense.
But I also think the Emperor is really the best bad guy we've had in Star Wars, so I kind of...
Other than Darth Vader.
Right, yeah, but he was the boss, you know what I mean. Like,
In the chain of command, yeah, Darth Vader was always second.
So really, it's the Skywalker Saga, but it should really be the Palpatine Saga, because he's been there from day one, episode 1. He was behind the scenes in a couple movies, apparently, but now he's back, so he's been there just as long as the Skywalkers, which is pretty cool.
I mean, and I guess that does tie into Rey being his granddaughter. She's a Palpatine. So, if you want to argue, she's not a Skywalker like a lot of people had assumed, and then now she's a Palpatine.
And that means he fucked, so...
No, I think that his kids are clones. I don't know how...
Oh, really?
I don't remember how this works. I don't know. It's really...
a question I guess doesn't really need to be answered.
If you start overthinking it, this movie doesn't make sense. And I think that's my problem with it, is it's just... The whole Disney trilogy is a rocky road to nowhere. I didn't like at all how it ended up. I felt like they threw fan service in for the sake of fan service. They tried to undo everything in The Last Jedi, which pissed me off the whole time.
Well, so many people hated The Last Jedi, and so they kind of tried to retroactively fix a lot of the stuff, which, back to one thing I hated in The Last Jedi was when Leia, whatever the hell she did when she got blown out into space and survived. Mm-hmm. So now we learn, from extended universe stuff, we knew that Leia was Force sensitive, and there's some comics and shit where she became a Jedi. But as far as canon goes, now this movie showed that she actually had some training as far as Jedi stuff, because Luke was training her. It looked like it was on the Forest Moon of Endor, actually, if my knowledge is correct. But Luke had the green... That's the only time we saw the green lightsaber also, was in that little flashback. So that also bothered me, that there was no green lightsaber, because I always thought blue was the Padawan color, and then once you become a Jedi Master, you upgrade to your green lightsaber. I thought that's how it was.
I mean, that's going deeper into the Star Wars lore than I know, so I'll take your word on it.
Right, and then the bad guys just always had red.
Yeah. Or, unless you're Mace Windu, you have purple. Which is only because Samuel Jackson said that he wanted a purple lightsaber. And I respect Samuel Jackson.
I like the purple lightsaber also.
Yeah.
But I also like the orange, which I think only Plo Koon had.
Yeah, no, you know a lot about lightsabers, more than I know. Because I know nothing about them. I just know, I look at them and that's it, Yeah, I get it. Okay, stop it. I personally, I couldn't enjoy it, if you want my feelings on this.
Really? You didn't, you really don't like it?
No, I saw this in the movies, and the best part about my movie theater experience that day was the Tenet opening clip that they showed before it, and then the rest of the movie never lived up to that, because I saw it in IMAX back in December of 2019. And I didn't like how it opened. I didn't like seeing Kylo Ren going planet to planet to try and find a map again. It just felt so video gamey. Everyone's looking for a piece to fill out the bigger puzzle. It just felt very generic storytelling. I just didn't enjoy that. I said I didn't enjoy them undoing everything that they did in The Last Jedi. It makes The Last Jedi seem less than what it was, because I don't think The Last Jedi is as bad as this film. You removed characters, or just basically have them in passing scenes, like Kelly Marie Tran, they did Rosebud. Just things like that, and then having Kylo die, I should have felt something for him dying, and I felt nothing.
Pump the brakes a little. That actually was the one thing I think that bothered me the most, is, so, all of a sudden, I understand we're gonna introduce new powers and stuff like that, so Rey was able to heal that worm, and then she healed Kylo after stabbing him. So basically, Rey died, right? Mm-hmm. Kylo brought her back to life
by basically sacrificing himself,
and then he dies.
Yeah, he basically gave her his power. That's how I read it, at least.
I don't know. They went back, or was he died? He brought her back. I don't remember, but anyway, I don't like the way they took out Kylo. I thought
it just I don't mind how they did it. I just don't. I mind that this was one of my favorite characters through this whole trilogy, and they just felt the need to redeem him, like Star Wars feels the need to redeem every single villain ever, except for the Emperor. He's never redeemed.
I think it would have been better if the Emperor, when Rey and Kylo were fighting the Emperor, if the Emperor took out Kylo, and then at her last stitch effort, or the last bit of energy, Rey was finally able to defeat the Emperor. And that would have been a cooler ending, in my opinion, rather than...
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. And then another thing that's a big one is her taking the Skywalker name at the end. That...
You didn't like that?
No, I didn't like that. I mean, I get that they had the Force Ghosts of
What would
Luke
you have liked?
Palpatine. That's her name.
Well, it's your name, so...
Yeah, exactly. So, that's who you are. Like, you know, you don't have to be a Skywalker. I get that you feel closer to them on this little journey that you guys went on. But that's like me going, you know what? Matt, we've been together for so long, I'm a Kish now.
Well, so Kylo was Solo, because I was going to say maybe...
Well, he's Ben Solo, yeah.
Right, so it's not even like she was taking his name, as in, like, they were in love and they would have got married. I don't know.
I don't know.
So
I guess the story arc is supposed to be she went from a nothing to a something now. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. You like the Disney movies.
I do, and I think that will piss off a lot of Star Wars fans, and I'm not going to say that my opinion's right. I'm just saying that Disney's obviously doing the right thing, because I'm a guy who never liked Star Wars, but I can get behind the 3 Disney ones that I've seen so far. And, I mean, Rogue One was awesome, too. Mm-hmm. This one, though, in my opinion, it's not as good as Force Awakens.
No, I agree with that 100%.
That, to me, is one of the best ones. That and Rogue One are 2 tops for me.
Well, it's all fan service.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know, Harrison Ford coming back, Chewie getting his medal. You know, we see Luke and Leia.
Thank God he was in the wrong transport.
Yes, thank God. You don't want to see Chewie die. I mean, you wanted him to be dead?
No, I didn't want him to be dead, but I wanted to see them commit to something through this whole trilogy. It's something.
Yeah, I guess.
But
you know, the fan service is... I guess that's what everyone complained about, and they said, all right, fine, we're just gonna...
That's all we're gonna do.
Yeah, but a lot of it was cool, like the Luke and Leia thing with the lightsabers. That was cool as hell.
That was cool. I mean, you know what? I get it, and I'm glad it makes people happy.
Harrison Ford come back. That was cool.
Yeah, it just feels
and
too
did you hear the lines that they said?
Yeah, I get it. It just...
Because he was going to say, Dad, and then but he didn't say I love you, and then Harrison Ford just says, I know.
Yeah, I get it.
Because they did that.
I know what they did, and I know...
You have that tattooed on you. You love that line.
I do, and I love The Empire Strikes Back. It's just that, like, I don't need it stuffed to my face. I'll always have The Empire Strikes Back. It's not going nowhere.
Right.
So, I mean, the original went somewhere. But it's not going nowhere where I can't pull it out. I don't need to be catered to like this. I wanted to see a cohesive story. I guess that's the film fan in me over the Star Wars fan in me. Like, I don't need everything. I don't need to be filled up with Star Wars. I just wanted to see a good movie. And unfortunately, I didn't think this was a good movie.
Also, did you know that Finn was Force sensitive?
Yeah.
You did?
I did, when they told us in this fucking movie.
Well, they never audibly said it.
No, I didn't know because in this movie they, like, showed it. That's what
it was just a bunch of, like, subtle hints.
Throughout the whole trilogy it was there?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I gotta go back and look, but I'll take... maybe you're right. I don't know. I didn't look for those little details, but I felt like these movies were written one by one as they went. I didn't feel like there was any through line or cohesive...
Well, yeah, probably. Because I think this was supposed to be directed by... Colin Trevorrow?
Colin Trevorrow, who did
yeah.
Jurassic World and Jurassic World Dominion. Yes, and they pulled him because they had problems with some other directors, because they had problems with Gareth Edwards on Rogue One, and then they had problems with on Solo, they had problems with the guys who did the Lego movie. I can't pull their names right now. But those two, they both got fired from their movies while they were making them,
right.
And then they had the Rian Johnson backlash. They just said, all right, we'll go safe. We know that we work well with JJ, and we'll bring JJ back for episode 9. So they were like, everyone gets a Star Wars movie, and go do what you want. Who cares about a through-line story? So that's what bothers me, basically throughout the entire Disney trilogy. That's my biggest piece of anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now we're down to the fun part, because this is where we're going to give our final list rankings. And on the screen right now, you're going to see the rankings for us individually, all 3 of us. But this is going to be how we break down the show's list. So right now, I'm going to read them off to you, because I don't know other way to do this. Number 1 is The Empire Strikes Back. I think it'll stay that way. Number 2 is A New Hope. I think it'll stay that way. Number 3 is Return of the Jedi. I don't think we're going above that. Number 4 is Rogue One. I agree with that. Number 5 is The Force Awakens. I know you don't agree with that, but me and Dennis really like that movie.
I think this should be above Force Awakens.
This is his favorite one, and I don't think we should do that, and it's my 3rd, so.
Oof.
And number 6 is The Phantom Menace, which I think that's way too high. Number 7 is The Last Jedi. I would put that above The Phantom Menace. Number 8 is Revenge of the Sith. I actually think that's way too low. And number 9 is Solo. I think that's right where it deserves. And number 10 is Attack of the Clones, which I think should be number 11. I would put this at number 10, personally.
10?
Yeah.
Last?
No. It'd be above Attack of the Clones. So it'd be number 10.
Oh, I would slide it in right in between 4 and 5.
Okay, well, that's not happening. I'll let it go between after The Force Awakens, because you and Dennis both like it.
Well, yeah, but you can't let it. You have to.
So it's going to go into number 6.
Okay.
Alright, it just misses our channel's top 5. So the top 5 is pretty good. I mean, I don't want this near number 6, but, you know, that's the way democracy works, and I'm willing to concede. So that's how it's going to go for that. But before we finish this video, let's talk about another Disney 4K. Because I actually didn't buy this 4K because I don't like this movie. And
You don't have it?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it's the only...
He's not a real collector.
No, me and Matt have a very different perspective on collecting. Matt has to have every movie in the series. I don't like to have movies that I'm never going to put in my player. And I don't want that anywhere near my 4K player, tainting it and damaging it with its badness. So...
I really can't believe you dislike this movie that much.
Listen, if Attack of the Clones didn't come out, that's the worst Star Wars movie.
Yikes.
And Attack of the Clones did come out, so be thankful. Alright, you and Dennis are crazy. But, you know, whatever. How's the 4K? I watched this on Disney+.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, so yeah, this is the
4K Blu-ray.
So this is the 4K Blu-ray Steelbook edition. It's got Kylo on there. I guess this was on that planet with the water.
Yes. I love that, actually. One thing I gotta say, also the Star Wars 4Ks in the Disney trilogy, even Solo, really good steelbooks.
Yeah, nice steelbooks. You got your 3-disc set, there's your 4K. All your special features are on a Blu-ray disc. And then you have the feature film on Blu-ray as well. And then you have the inside art with this one. You got Chewie, Poe, looks like they're inside of the Falcon. And then Rey, yep, so they're all inside of the Falcon. That's a pretty cool shot. But as far as the disc goes, I think the 4K with the HDR look fantastic. The Dolby Atmos track, incredible. It's a solid release, you know. I mean, I would recommend picking this one up if you're a fan of Star Wars or if you're a collector. I have all the Star Wars on physical, so that's just something I prefer to have. I don't know what the stream has as far
So the stream has, because I watched it on the Disney Plus stream, it has everything that's on that 4K disc. It's got Dolby Atmos.
Does it have Dolby Vision?
No, it doesn't have Dolby Vision, and neither does the disc. The disc is just HDR10, and that's
Right.
the same thing on the Disney Plus stream. And also on the 4K disc, but not on the stream, is Dolby 7.1 HD compatible, which we were talking,
Atmos.
which is pretty much Atmos. But like, I guess people who don't have Atmos in their system, I guess this was a little bit older. It's compatible with this if that's what you have, and it's also got a bunch of other languages on there with Dolby Dolby 5.1. So there's a bunch of different options. But the stream I thought looked beautiful. I think the film itself is a better looking film than The Last Jedi. Personally, I thought it got rid of a lot of the lens flare, even though it's J.J. Abrams. And Rian Johnson did it, but it felt like a quality jump from The Last Jedi for me personally, as far as visuals go. Audio was great throughout.
Yeah, no, solid release. Can say worth the pickup if you're a fan of Star Wars.
I feel like you're looking at me because I don't own it.
I don't know how you don't own it, but...
Yeah, well, sometimes quality over quantity is a real thing.
That doesn't make sense or apply here.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going to make sense to you because I am very upset.
Good movie.
I'm very
Great movie. Great disc. Pick it up.
Alright, we disagree on that. I think the Disney Plus stream is good enough if that's what you have. But you know what? If you're a collector like us, definitely grab that. But if you're into...
I don't think you're going to get the Steelbook anymore. But...
No, grab the 4K with the sleeves. It's really nice. And you can still buy the Skywalker Saga altogether for still pretty hefty price, but it's really nice.
$250.
Yeah. But, you know, like we said, the discs are not the greatest. But anyway, thanks for joining us on our Star Wars rankings. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends.